Hi everyone, this is Crystal, and today I'm sharing the second week in my gratitude journal for November. If you watched last week's video, this is going to be very much the same kind of process. I'm creating 4 quadrants on each page, and I'm going to fill in each of those quadrants with one day of the week and then use my Forever Grateful kit to decorate the pages. I did a couple things differently this week, both of which I won't be repeating in the future. I'm not real crazy about how they turned out, but I wanted to point them out to you. First of all, I used black ink instead of a dark gray because I thought it would maybe just give it a little bit more contrast, but I don't like the contrast. I'm going to be going back to a dark gray in the future weeks. And then I also decided to add numbers 1 through 3 for each day, thinking I would number my gratitude things for each day, but I don't like that either. So I won't be doing that in the future either. But I wanted to point that out so that you could see kind of how this differs from the first week. Okay, so like I said, it's going to be very much the same. I'm using the same products. I'll be using my Forever Grateful kit to decorate the pages here in a minute after I do all of the stamping. Again, I'll have all of those products linked down below in the description if you're curious about what I've used here. So instead of kind of talking about what I'm doing, I thought I would take this time to talk to you about the book. So part of this whole process is to read the Gratitude Diaries by Janice Kaplan while I start this practice of gratitude in this gratitude journal. So I thought I would kind of talk to you about what I have read so far, what stood out to me, and share all of that with you. So if you're reading along, then maybe this will be familiar to you, and if not, then I hope you enjoy it in some way. So a couple things that stood out to me in the first few chapters of this book. I'm about 25% of the way through. The first is that gratitude is a practice, right? It's not something you can do passively. Gratitude is not passive. You have to actively practice gratitude in order to reap the benefits of it. And she cites tons of research that illustrate the benefits, which I'm not going to go over because they are what you would expect them to be, what I've always heard, what you have probably heard in the past. And there are many benefits of gratitude, but you can't just say, okay, I'm going to start being grateful for things and just expect it to happen on its own. You have to actively practice gratitude. And according to the research, one of the best ways to do that is through a gratitude journal, to actually write down, whether that's physically with your hands in a notebook like this, or it's an app on your phone or the Notes app on your phone, but to actually take the time to reflect on your day and think about specific things from that day that you are grateful for. And that helps to achieve the ultimate goal, which is kind of a reframing of our perspective so that all of the good things seem better and all the bad things don't seem as bad in our everyday lives. And obviously that's what we want, right? That's the whole point of doing a gratitude practice, so that we can appreciate what we have, we don't take things for granted, that sort of thing. But it had me thinking, where does that cross the line between just gratitude and reframing and perspective into kind of toxic positivity, right? Because some bad things are just bad. Like, there is no other way to look at them other than they are not good. They are damaging or distressing or traumatizing. And I'm sure that there is some line, and maybe she'll talk about it later, but it was one of the questions that I wrote down in my notes while I was reading, that it seems like if you could take this too far, you could take it to the point where it was unhealthy, right? That's certainly not what the goal is here. That's not what my intention is, but it's something I'd like to look into further, read a bit more about, and see the connection between actually just gratitude and that kind of idea of toxic positivity where, everything happens for a reason, that sort of thing. Because I definitely don't believe in that. But I do want to achieve that kind of reframing of my perspective of my everyday life that will overall enhance my well-being, which is the whole point of the gratitude practice. The other thing that really stood out to me was the idea of habituation. So I mentioned in my very first video that I think we all know, that gratitude, that happiness doesn't come from things, right? It doesn't come from acquiring physical things. It doesn't come from owning houses or cars or special things, even though we long for those things, right? When we first want them, like we are looking forward to them. We can't wait till we have it, or we're jealous of the people who do have it. But that's not where happiness comes from. And she talks about this idea of habituation, which explains really why happiness doesn't come from those things, because no matter how much we want them, no matter how much we're looking forward to them, eventually we get used to them. They become everyday. They become something that we take for granted, and that is actually called habituation. So that can apply to the things in our lives, the cars, the houses, the purses, whatever it is in your life or in a person's life. It can also apply to people, right? Because we take for granted the people in our lives who are positive influences in our lives, who we see every day or we talk to every day, who are always there, and that same kind of habituation can apply to them. So you have to, again, actively practice gratitude. In fact, in the book, she talks about how she makes a point to say something to her husband every day that she is grateful for, that instead of getting frustrated or feeling hurt, that she looks at their situation and finds, okay, but this is something I'm actually grateful for, and actually expresses that to him, and that over time that improves their relationship because each of them feels more seen, more validated, and more appreciated, right? Less taken for granted, which I think is a beautiful thing, and something that I think we all want to some degree. So I was definitely kind of intrigued by that, and that's something that I definitely want to think about more and maybe put into practice in my own life. So far, I have to say I am thoroughly enjoying the book and can't wait to read more and learn more about the benefits of this gratitude practice that I'm embarking on. And I'm hoping that this is something that I continue beyond just the month of November, because it's not just a fad, it's not just a trend, it's not just something I want to do for a month and then leave it behind, but it's something that I want to maintain and overall achieve that perspective shift that I was talking about earlier. So if you are reading this book, I would love to know your thoughts on it and what has stood out to you so far. And if you're interested in having a deeper discussion about the book or the topic of gratitude in general, I would also love to do that. Let me know in the comments down below and we will make something happen. Okay, so that's all I have to say about the book today. I haven't gotten super far on my journal in the time that I've been talking. I've been playing with some of the kit elements and just moving them around and seeing what works in different places, as you do, as I do anyway, always. And at this point, I haven't cut everything out of these pages yet. So I'm just kind of cutting as I go, which also takes so much time, which is why after this, I cut everything out so that I could work through these pages more easily, more quickly. But I am loving this kit. I love the way it turned out. I'm super happy with the end results. I will say I think I would maybe make things a little bit smaller. Some of the elements were a little bit big for this A5 journal, and certainly for some of the other journals that I keep that are even smaller. Some of the elements just felt a little bit big on the page, so I think for future kits, I will probably size things down a little bit. I'd love to know what you think about it, if you agree with me, or if you have used the kit, what you think of the elements so far. This is a work in progress, right? Like I'm learning as I go and figuring things out and making adjustments as I go. So if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them as always. Please feel free to leave those in the comments as well. Okay, so one of the things that I love the most about this kit is the color palette. Like I am just dying for this fall color palette, loving every bit of it. It's colorful, but it's still very kind of, muted colors that just feel like fall. This kit just feels like fall to me, which is exactly what I needed, because it doesn't feel like fall where I'm at right now. I'm in Florida and it is very much still like I mean, it's pretty much like summer here still. We had a few cold days, but overall it's been warm and sunny and beautiful, but not at all fall-like. So I am getting all of my fall joy from this kit and using it in my different journals, including this one. Okay, so I don't really have anything else to talk to you about. I think I will just stop talking and let you watch the rest of this video with some music. So I hope that you enjoyed this. And again, if you have any questions or you want to talk more about the book, please feel free to reach out, leave a message, or reach out to me on Instagram, and I'd love to chat with you about it. Be sure to like and subscribe, as always, if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you back here again very soon.